right. Turn off that one light. It's probably too bright. I actually got to run in and get my tablet real fast. I'm going to run and get my tablet real fast. My tablet. Will you text me that live? Will you text? All right, I'm in here. I'm getting my tablet. I forgot to go get my tablet. And let's get some. I didn't have my tablet for the chat, so hang on a minute so I can get the chat. I'm used to scheduling my live, so I wasn't ready whenever I hit go live. Set this somewhere. All right. What's up, Apache? What's up, Matt? So my son is moving out, my youngest son. So me and Miss Maintenance will be empty nesters before you know it. So as we're building this tool bag, you would think, oh, well, I'll give my son all these crazy awesome tools because, you know, he's probably like me, but he's not. So this is a bag that he might use never, and it would just be a bag that I'll use whenever I'm over at his house if I don't happen to have my tool bag with me, like if I just so happen to go over there. So we're not looking to build like a tool bag like my tool bag. So one thing, and I'm also giving him tools like out of these are things that aren't in my bags right now. So it's not going to be new tools. I'm going to dig through my tools and see what we can come up with. I was going to originally put it in this because I already had this and put some in both sides, but I was at Home Depot today and they had that thing for 20 bucks. So I bought him this. So he's not getting a veto. So we'll come up with some things that we think someone might need, again, that knows how to do really nothing. But at one time, I didn't know how to do anything. So maybe he'll use some of these tools at some point and then he'll start to like doing some of this stuff. So I don't want to give him totally turd tools because then he might not like using them. But I also don't want, I'm not giving him like my Knipex or anything like that. That'd be silly for it to sit around. I get it. I did this for some kiddos stuff. I didn't care if it disappeared. Funny, I'm at Home Depot right now thinking about picking up a backpack. Man, they had some Husky, like some of them were, and they even had the Milwaukee pack out stuff was on sale too. So come on, dollar store tools. So like I've got this old hammer here. He just needs a hammer, like if he's gonna hang a picture or something like that. So this is a hammer I'm parting with. So I'm gonna throw that down in here. I don't know if this will fit in this thing or not. Let's see. It's probably gonna block. We're just gonna set it in there like this. And then he does need a tape measure. Most of mine are beat all to death. And I thought this one would be a good one to give him because every time he gets it out of the tool bag, he'll see this and he'll think of his dad. So I thought that'd be pretty good. find something to pop that up with. I could write AKA Daddy on it, and that way he'll laugh every time he gets it out. See if there ain't really enough room though. If I could put stud, also known as Dad. But this has a tape measure clip right there. So bada bing. And then I'm gonna give him one of these flashlights because it takes batteries and it's probably gonna sit in here for a long time. So I don't want to give him one that's, even though I got a boatload of them that are rechargeable. This is a very good light to have anyways. I've already forgot how to use it. So flashlight. Fastback. And then there's a few things I got out because I knew after I was digging. I'm gonna give him a set of these blades for it. And I'm gonna give him this one because I think that this is the easiest type of packaging to change blades out. Like some of them where you slide them out and all that kind of stuff. If it's not something you do very often, you'll probably end up cutting yourself on that. What's up, Woodchuck? Partying with something. Miss Maintenance is loving this. Roy Phipps, love that light. Yeah, that was my, like, for the longest time, this was the light. I mean, until I started getting some O lights and stuff like that in the mail, it's like this right here. And I used to really hate recharging lights, but now everything, it don't matter. It's not just flashlights. You can't hardly get away from rechargeable stuff, and I've gotten kind of used to it now that it ain't that big a deal. And they've come to where the rechargeable stuff seems like it lasts a lot longer than it used to too. So let's see what kind of screwdrivers. He doesn't need that. What y'all think? Should I mean, you got to learn that not all tools are created equal, so you have to start out with something. Let me get something and wipe this. I see some glare from the lights on my screen. I'm gonna wipe you guys off real fast. And these are extra. I'll see what else I got down in here that are kind of like this. I don't know if this might be all I got. You got to start on the rough stuff. That's why I said you would never appreciate a pair of Knipex Cobras if you've never had these, you know. So that's what I'm kind of thinking is you don't want to just give somebody Knipex to start with. So I figure I will do a all-in-one of some type of screwdriver. I don't think he would know how to use a ratcheting screwdriver probably that well, so I'm not going to do that. So I've got a Klein 11-in-1 magnetic. I've got an old regular 11-in-1. There's all. That one's a adjustable length. See what all I got in here. There's a 15-in-1 ratcheting, but that one's ratcheting too. He wouldn't. That right there would blow his mind. Let's see, slotted screwdriver. It might not be a bad idea to get let me see what all I got for, it wouldn't be bad probably have a Phillips and a slotted and then an all-in-one type thing. We'll see what we got. Those are probably all no-goes. I'm not giving him my USA ones. 11-in-1 regular and 2 dedicated. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Matt, like a Phillips slotted and then a 11-in-1 type of thing. See what all 11-in-1s I got. There's a 20-in-1. Adjustable length. And then I probably, which actually though, I'll bring y'all over. You guys tell me if you think, let me see this. Probably could use one of these, but I might actually, I got something. Let me get this out and we'll go over here. I gotta open this. Hang on. Let me open this drawer. I thought I might throw this in there because I got so many precision driver sets, and then that way if he runs into some weird thing for something later, and then that would give him a precision driver little screwdriver set. Only other Klein thing I thought about was this, just so he'd have bits, and this fits in that tote. Hard to do one-handed, but it's only SAE, but that would give him like a little socket set too, and a ratchet and a screwdriver with those bits. So that's a possibility. The rest of those sets I use pretty often. This one I've got that I've got my essential kit, and I haven't really ever used that one much. I could give him a pair of linemen. If I'm gonna give him some, I'll give him these, just in case he needs to grab something or something. Those are extra since I bought my Milwaukees. I'm not giving him those. I do have this set of DeWalt. I think my slotted, though, I was using it down there yesterday. That's a slot. That's kind of a little long. See what y'all are saying. At least the Kleins, you can look like you know what's going on. Best part, he's going to have to replace those giveaway tools. I got these. I do got the. I think this is an extra set of blackout ones. Let me see what I got. No, I got the blackout 11 in one. I swapped it around. But I'll probably keep these. That's about the size. That's probably like the size of a Phillips and a slotted that I probably am looking for, though. That's something that I think. Let's see if I got some more down in here. That'd be good. I wouldn't mind giving them away because I don't care for the handles on those either, but those are ECX. I don't think he'll need a pair of strippers because he's not going to do any wiring. I'll probably give him one of these just so he can. It's probably dead. If he calls and asks, oh, there's no bat. That's broke. Cap's broke. Just in case he calls and asks me something, I can say, get out that thing out of your. Here we go. There we go. And like I said, this might be something I end up. There might be some tools I'll put in here because he might not know how to use them, but just something basic. Because if I go to his house and I didn't know that he was going to ask me to do something, and I don't have my tool bag with me, or I rode over there with Miss Maintenance one day or something, and he said, hey, something about this. So I'll probably give him a magnetic 11 in one and make sure all the bits are in here, and make sure I didn't swap out one with a combo bit or something. Yeah, see, I want that. Somebody was just asking me about that the other day, the double-sided combo bit. So I need to see. So I got square. Phillips slotted. I'll give him that. Just the magnetic one, right? Yeah. So we'll go with that. I still got to find a dedicated Phillips and a slotted, and I got a boatload of them somewhere. That's ratcheting. There we go. It's a Phillips. I bet I don't have a slotted though. That's a tang through. I don't know. I might keep that one too. Doesn't love him that much. I don't have as many screwdrivers in here as I thought I did. I'd give him, let's see. Yeah, this is that Phillips slotted thing, but it's not like a combo. So this is like a European. I bought these thinking they were going to be a Vera version of a combo bit, but it's basically the middle is straight with the slotted instead of being turned like the ours are. So they don't work. I kept them because I bought them, but I think I've got 2 pairs. Yeah, I've got 2 pairs of these. So I'll give him a pair of those. Let's see. I actually like that one too. We'll see if this one's working. No, I found a Milwaukee one. We don't have to do that, so that's good. I was gonna make I don't need to do that though if I don't do a screwdriver that takes a bunch of different bits. The only thing I could give him is a impact 11-in-1 with a bit set, and then he'd be able to put any bit he wanted. Like that's the only difference about like this one. You can't put a bit in it. Let me see. I think I got some extra impact 11-in-1s. Yeah, so impact 11-in-1. Is that not going? So is it different? Must be different. Shouldn't be, right? Must be. That won't work. With this one, you can at least put something else in it. If I give him a bit set with a bunch of bits, so I might do that. Although he won't know that, but at least then you can take this out and use it with something else, and then maybe I can take a regular bit rail or something and put a bunch of bits in it, or fill up this thing with a bunch of bits. Or if I give him this, or do I just give him this? What do you guys think? This, and then I wouldn't have to do the impact 11-in-1. He'd have a socket set. I'll probably take these out and save those for myself. Although that would drive me crazy if this was my set and I didn't have those in there. So this would give him a bit, and then I wouldn't have to give him an impact 11-in-1. I could still just give him the magnetic. And this would give him a dedicated screwdriver that he can put any of this stuff in. Or you think that's too complicated? The Klein kit for sure. See if it fits down in here first. Oh yeah, it's like it's meant to be. And then I did have a pair of these 2 things I had to go get out of the house. So I figure I'll give him a torpedo level and a pliers wrench from Klein. I'll give him one good pair of pliers. And I had an extra one of these. And this is something I could see him if he wants to hang something. So Franklin sensor, still do a dedicated. Yeah, I think I might. I actually really like those DeWalt ones though. I'm debating on what I want to do about that. The Phillips and the slider. What else do I got for those? I got the Klein slotted demo in this group here somewhere. I can't believe I ain't got a just regular. I know I got 1,000 of them somewhere. Phillips screwdriver. Or I could go crazy and give him some of my used Vera ball handles. That'd be a good test to see if a person who's never used screwdrivers before, if they really, really like ball handle screwdrivers. I could give him a set of those. Give him the pink hammer with flyers. I've actually still got that. That's back here. So I was going to give him a Klein pliers wrench. I've also got adjustable wrench set from Klein over here. It's kind of, I got a set. I ended up having 2 sets of these. Let's see. It's kind of a weird layout on stuff. Let's go with. Like I said, he's. I might put these on the outside. Like it's only reason why I'm debating on putting these in there is because if I go over there, this is what I'm going to have to work with. I may have to give him a pair of Cobras. I'll get him like an IKEA drill. I haven't decided if I'm going to give him any. I'm not going to give him any battery like M12 stuff or anything. I did give my oldest son, when he moved out, I had a DeWalt 20-volt impact, I think it was, or maybe it's a drill and some batteries. I gave that to him because I never used it because I only had like 2 batteries for it. But I'm not going to give him an M12 thing. I thought about maybe giving him like that Skill electric screwdriver. But again, if anything crazy is going to be done over there, he's going to be calling me. So I'm going to have my stuff. I see the boys missing an M12 Surge. I like that Franklin sensor, the M210. I can't remember what this one. This one's the one. This one's bigger. I bought a smaller one that I keep in my truck now. It's probably like half the size of this one. I don't remember what the number is on this one. Now you can't, which this has a built-in level on it, and all reality, you could probably just tell him you got to use this for your little level, and not give him a. Those are the only small levels I own. I've got like 5 of them things. Let's see what else we got down here. 7-in-1. I got boatloads of them handles. Here's a HVAC 8-in-1. That wouldn't do any good. I don't think there's anything else down here. It's all just mostly a lot of them kind of screwdriver handles, universal ones. So let me put these back in here. You got to give him a torpedo level. You might as well. If you don't, you might as well tell him he's adopted. So let's see. What did we decide? Oh, that screwdriver's got, so bits. I'm not going to worry about bits because that case in there's got pretty much all your standard bits. So I'm not going to worry about bits. Let's see. I guess we can give him a Inkzall. What else? What else? What else? This, I'm gonna save that out actually. And I probably don't need. I think y'all think this set I'm sure like a homeowner might run into some more of these things, like putting stuff together later. That's probably more useful than this. How about nail setter? Comes in handy a lot. Yes. I've got some in my truck, I think, that I could probably give him because I use the spring ones almost all the time. I think let me look and see if my truck's locked. Bum, bum, bum. One of those. Let's see where that thing fits. What's this got in it? Anything? Put it over in that corner. Oh, the bucket of misfit tools. What do you think of the Klein 11-in-1? The Impact 11-in-1 is my favorite 11-in-1 of all time, just because of what all you can do with it. And more so, it isn't even about the original tool. It's more so the fact that I can take, let me get my stuff out over here. Like I've actually bought several just to get this piece so that I can take and make my own like magnetic 5/16 and a quarter, because I like that a lot of times better than these, and they'll still fit down in there. And then I put like I either use this or a locking bit holder. So this one's been my favorite one, just because you can also, just put regular bits in it if you want to. It's way more versatile of a 11-in-1 than any of the original ones. But I mean, I used to use the 11, like I've had 1,000 of these probably in my lifetime. I don't know how many. But the Impact 11-in-1 is about as good as it gets. Small pry bar. Let's see. I don't know if I got any extras of those. Let me see. Probably not in my truck. I probably got one out there in my truck. I mean, it's dark outside, so it wouldn't do me no good to take y'all with me to my truck. Let's see what kind of pry bars extra ones I might have. No, yeah, that would work. I don't have any small, like real thin ones, but I got this one here. I think this is a pretty universal, decent one. Which ways? There we go. We'll go that route. Spare some gloves. What, are you crazy? You think I got gloves just laying around? Let's see. Actually, let's see. I think I moved my gloves somewhere else. Let's see if I got a pair in here. Does he get firm grip or does he get maxi flex? That's the question. I think we just put these in here, because if I put them in there, he'll never know they're in there. One pair. You can wash them. We ain't made of money. It's my favorite style. That's probably one of the, I've actually got like, I think I got 3 of that same exact Bostish pry bar. That's my it's definitely like one of my most used pry bars. That one in a real thin. I've got a real thin. I don't even know what brand it is. I've had it forever. It's black. Was there a flashlight in there? I'm late. Yeah, I gave him one of these right here since it takes batteries and not rechargeable, because again, he might not ever, this thing could sit in there forever. If I give him something that's rechargeable, it's probably going to die. Box cutter, I gave him a fastback right here. And then I gave him a pack of razor blade knives. Harbor Freight has a 4-piece pry bar set, usually cheap and good variety sizes. I'm trying to think if there's any, really a pair of pliers like this, what you kind of missing. I'm gonna, here, let's go. This is pretty, this toolbox down here is really, really dirty. So, oh, let me show you guys too what I've done in my garage since, so window, the window was right there. And I took out the window, got that closed in. Got a receptacle ran. I ran a 2-inch conduit. I'll show you where that goes here in just a minute. And then I've got my internet moved over here because it was over here on that shelf, and that's my next doorway is right there. So I had to move it anyway. So I've got it sitting here. So I'm going to be setting my video camera recorder and all that kind of stuff. That's what that's going to run all my PoE cables to all my cameras and stuff through there. But I don't know how many of you have seen this part of it, but let's go down here to this toolbox. This toolbox has got dust and dirt all over it where I've been saw cutting down here. Let's see what I got in here. Just a pair of 12s. I could give him a pair of, might have pairs of 8-inch twins. Is this the big pair, isn't it? Yeah, 250s. Let me look up here and see if I got an extra pair of, this might be my screwdriver honey hole. Let me see what I got in this one. These are always just random stuff that I throw in here too. I've got this little set here that's got a Phillips and slotted, but I think did we find a Phillips and slotted up there? Yeah, the 2 ball handles. I don't think I've got any pliers on that. What's in here? Anything? Allen keys. Let me think about what I got for Allen keys that would be extra. I got these things. And I hate these things for the most part, so I don't know if that give him the stability. I don't know if let me look and see if this Klein set has any hex keys in it. Hex bits. It's got your standard. I know it's got a few metric. So that's probably gonna cover most things. Because I was gonna say I could give him a set of those. That he could put in anything, but we'll wait and see if it becomes a problem. I'll give him these just in case. These might fit. in one of these. All right, so far we're there. This is gonna go into. The only really thing I can think of is a pair of like Cobra style, and man, I know I gotta have something besides Cobras around here and those butter pliers. That's extra. They're probably in some of my 30 bags out there. The Husky build-out bags are on sale. Yeah, they got the one that somebody just had in the guest of trade. I can't remember who it was, just not too long ago, but it was on sale for 39 bucks, like the 14-inch twin grips. That's all he'll need. Must be you have new steps. Yeah, and I'm mad because I cut. I'll take y'all out there and show you those. So I went to Menards and bought 2x12s, and I thought I bought 10-footers, and I should have known I didn't buy 10-footers because I bought some 8-foot 2x4s too, and so I pulled them off and I started cutting them because I knew I needed them to be 60 inches. It's like 56 inches or something like that's what it is from here to there. And I cut my first 56 inch and I started measuring my offcut to mark it at 56. I'm like, what in the world? So I bought 8-footers. I thought, and I paid for 10-footers because when I went up there, I told her I got 10-footers. So I got to go buy. I just put my cutoffs on there for now so I can walk up and down through there. And then I'm going to put, risers and stuff. And then I think I'm going to leave that open and just put, small lumber and stuff in underneath of there. Is what I'm leaning on. But yeah, I got all the way home with the lumber. I stuck 8-foot 2x4s on top of those 2x12s. And didn't even pay attention that they were the same size. The pass-through 65 400 sets on sale. Yeah, I think it's on sale for Pib Bib and said for 79. I think it is. I think it's on sale on Amazon too. Super helpful for weirdo. Don't forget eye protection. I don't even know if I own eye protection. I'm just kidding. I got some. What's a good hammer to buy? My OS wing's been hanging on forever, but I can't. I'm not gonna buy like a. Yeah, I'd like to have a Martinez or something just because the way they look. I mean, they're pretty awesome, but I also don't. I don't frame like I don't need a big hammer anyways, and I don't use a hammer enough to spend, big chunks of money on one. I saw a set of stairs. Give your son a Vito bag. Yeah. It would be a good reason to buy a spring promo bag and tell Miss Maintenance I got to get a free bag for my son. So really, what do y'all? Anything? I got crescent style wrenches, a little pliers wrench. I'm gonna give him these as kind of a needle nose. Because I had 2 pairs of those. That gives him a little cutter too, which I'm gonna give him. I guess I can give him these just to be a cutter. I don't know if a pair of diagonals would be useful. Maybe. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna see if this fits in there like this. I think that pair of cutters would be. I mean, I use diagonals all the time though to cut all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to think of what all kind of pairs of those I've got that would be extra that I don't really use a ton. Because there's tons of tools that I've got a lot of them, but they're ones I don't want to get rid of because they're like specific ones that I like for certain reasons. Small flashlight, yeah, I got that. Does he live close to you? How old is he? So he's 21, and he'll live like not super close, but you know close enough. Like he'll be in the town that I work in, so I'll be around. Like I said, he doesn't need something to fix anything major because he doesn't know how to do it. So, but like I said at the beginning, I also didn't know how to do anything at some point in time either. Maybe he'll try some stuff if he's out on his own and like learn how to. But then that's another thing is I don't want to give him like the premium. You gotta learn how to use tools and use some of them that maybe not are the best. And I think for the most part, the stuff that he'll get into, these would probably work fine. And you could use these to pull stuff too. So I'll probably give him the butter pliers. Are the Milwaukee cut level 1 gloves your favorite for most working situations? The cut level 1 are, I actually like the Klein ones the best. These are on sale more often than the Klein ones are. So I buy these more often. I like the DeWalt ones pretty good too. If they're whichever one's on sale, Maxi Flex, DeWalt, Klein, Milwaukee, I go through them. So I got a big bucket full of them in here. Every now and then I wash a bunch of them and keep using them. But there's a lot of times where by the end of the job, I've wore them out pretty good. So cutting, how about 10 snips? Yeah, I don't know if he'd need I probably got an extra set of 10 snips down there, but I don't think he'd need those. If he does later, anything he comes up, and another thing is if he comes up with a job that he wants to do later and he says, hey, I'd like to try this, and he doesn't have the tool to do it, then at that point, I'll give him whatever it is. Just home use. Is he wanting to start doing maintenance, or is this for home use? This would be just for home use. A kid that likely won't use them, perfect excuse to get rid of old tools. Yeah, I think I'm going to give him the butter pliers. I don't know if would he need a big pair. I don't know that anybody's gonna. Although the head on those aren't very big. Let's see if these are pretty similar in size. Tape measure. Yeah, I got a tape measure in there. That was one of the first things. And this one was new in the package, and I said I was going to give him this one because it'll make him think of his dad every time he pulls this one out. Whenever he sees that right there, he'll say, oh, that's just like my dad. Never occurred to me that it'd be awesome to have you as a dad or brother or cousin. My dad's in IT, and he thinks Black & Decker's the way to go. Yeah, and the last little bit, it's been pretty good to be my buddy too. Like I've been giving stuff to people all the time whenever I see people because I just got way too much stuff. And then I've got another toe soap mini split. They've got one with an ERV, and they were wanting me to do an install video of one. And I was like, well, I already installed one in my garage. I don't really, need another one. But my buddy who helped me do my outside of my garage, the one that was in those garage over the garage videos, he's been wanting a mini split for his garage. So I told him, well, if y'all are willing to send me one, I'll install it on his garage if that's cool with y'all. And then so he'll be getting a mini split. If he were to get in over his head, then he has you. Wings and Pizza said, yeah, that's what I said. This doesn't have to be a bag that you can do anything with. Like I said, if I'm going to his house to fix something, I'm not going to use this tool bag, because if I'm going particularly to fix something, I'm going to have my stuff with me, because I don't like working with other people's stuff, even though this is my stuff. But this would be if I'm in town one day with Miss Maintenance and we're in her car and we stop by there, and while I'm there, he says, I've got this problem, you know, and if I can fix it with the stuff in this bag, then I will. But he won't be doing anything major. Like I said, hanging pictures, maybe doing some, like, he would probably need screwdrivers and stuff, just because sometimes you buy, like, you know, doorknobs or, you know, that kind of stuff, maybe. We'll see how this goes right here. These are all tools that I can live with if I part with them, I guess. Pipe wrench. No, I don't think he'd need. I don't think I want him messing with. If I don't want him working on anything that requires a pipe wrench without me being there right now at this point. Plunger and drain zip tie thing. Yeah, I do got a. I don't know. He might have plungers already. We'll see, because he's actually, the place he's buying is it's a condo that was an Airbnb, and it's coming fully furnished and everything, just like it was the Airbnb. He bought it, and so they might have like plungers and stuff there. If they don't have that, I've got extra of those. Nail punch, yep, got one of those. And like I said, I'm gonna give him this hammer. I can't imagine he's gonna need this size pair of pliers. Because like I said, I'm trying to think of what he would work on that would need this, that he's going to feel comfortable working on. I can't think of anything. And I can always add to it. I think we're at a good start. I'm just trying to think if there's anything crazy that I'm not thinking of. I'm looking around my tools right now. We got precision drivers. We've got a SAE socket set and a ratchet. We've got a screwdriver and a bit set that takes bits. We've got a magnetic 11-in-1. We've got a dedicated Phillips and slotted. We've got a pair of linemen, a pair of needle nose-ish, which also has a cutter on it too. Small pry bar, tape measure, stud finder, hammer, nail set, pair of gloves, pair of pliers wrench, Klein pliers wrench, Klein adjustable wrenches, a small one and a big one, small pair of Milwaukee tongue and groove style pliers, non-contact voltage tester. He's not going to know how to use that, but at least I can tell him over the phone if he's doing something. Stick this on there and tell me if it beeps. Flashlight, ink saw, fastback knife, razor blades, extra razor blades. Six-in-one painter's tool. Yes, that would probably be good. Do I have extra of one of those? I don't know. That might be in my house, the extra ones of those, because I've got like a paint. Let me look inside this paint bucket up here. I might have one in here. Dropping that. I know I've got one of those in the house if I don't have one in this. Come on. There's a folding one. Another folding one. Because a scraper would be probably a good thing. There we go. What's this? Boom. garbage. Electrical tape. Probably not a bad one. Got a small rope or something. There we go. That's all he gets right there. He had to buy his own after he uses that. Caulk gun, no, he won't. Like I said, he might, some of that kind of stuff he can buy himself. I don't have any extra ones anyways. I always only run like one caulk gun until I break it, and then I think this Husky bag here is the bag I was using. I don't know if they had a different variation, but it's very similar to this. I actually used this for a long time before I bought this one, not this one, but something very much just like this before I bought my first Vito bag. That's what I was using, was one of these. Don't forget your business card. Assorted wire nuts. No, he's not going to mess with that. Look at the tote of screwdrivers. Yeah, it's because it's different transitions from different options that were out there. Like there for the longest time, I had like 4 or 5 of these handles in my bag with different things. Like, because you can set these up to be anything too. Like you can put anything you want to, in these. You gotta go up. So I had like all sorts of attachments in these screwdrivers, but this was back before there was the Impact 11-in-1, before there was, the flip sockets, all that kind of stuff. So I bought a ton of these screwdriver handles and just had a bunch of these as all my screwdrivers. And then I transitioned from other 11-in-1s. I had the 11-in-1, I went to the magnetic 11-in-1. Now I've got like 5 Impact 11-in-1s where I set them up a bunch of different ways. And then my house bag in there still got some of all this kind of stuff in it. That's probably where some of the stuff is that I've got my mind of the things that I'm looking for, but he's not getting anything that's in there. Like I said, the only thing that I'd rather give him a pair of Cobras probably than these, but I also don't want a pair of Cobras just sitting around in a bag forever, not getting used, and me had to buy another set. Basic drill bit set. I thought about that because I've got extra. Let me come over here. Like I've got several like sets like that, but I'm not giving him a drill or anything. We'll wait and see if, like I said, some of stuff like that, if he ends up like later on doing stuff and he wants a Impact or something, I've got extra M12 ones that I just use around here that I don't use that often, but I'm not going to give them to him and then him never use them, because I do use them around here. I just don't use them as much as the ones I use for work. I could make bit sets galore out of all sorts of things. Now there's a security bit set, but I think a lot of these are in that precision driver set. Because now this was the one I used to keep in my truck, but now I use the little mini Klein mod box ones. The little, I've got an extra one in here, I think, actually. One of these. Oh man, I'm about to just hit my head. That set, this set's the one I use in my truck now instead of that one, because I like how that one fits in my truck better. Let me see what all bits are in. See, this one comes with quite a few. Of course, they're smaller, but they're still the same. Like it's got... So this one's got bigger, like Torx, basically. Bigger spanners. So I might give him that. Give him that Olight. This one back here. That, or y'all can't see it now. Little 4-foot granny that likes to make you smile. Today I was working on, here, let me get the, y'all think of another tool, put it up there, but I'm gonna move this so I'm talking to the screen and not my hand. Y'all think of another tool, holler at me, we'll see if we can find it. I have to find, let me get my card or something. Yeah, just around the house tool bag. Fake Properties asked if it's just around the house tool bag or getting into a trade. Just he's moving out, so moving in by himself. And I gave my first son whenever he moved out a tool bag full of tools, and he has used a few of them here or there, but both of them are ones who are going to call me for anything like major, like if it's something drastic. So it would just be like a general homeowner bag. But as I said in the beginning, and it's just like my oldest son, he's done a few things himself since he's moved out that I haven't went and fixed. So if you give them some stuff, they may try some stuff every now and then they might find they like stuff and want different stuff. But scissors go in? No, I think he's got scissors, like regular scissors. PPE, safety glasses, ear protection. I'm sure I got some somewheres. I had a whole box of safety glasses actually, but I think they're in this tote here. Yeah. There's some Klein Tool safety glasses. Earplugs. I gotta go through these drawers. Let's see if I got earplugs in here. They might all be in my truck. I'm trying to think if there's, I know what I'll do. Although I can't think of anything loud, he won't have power tools. Got to give an even amount of earplugs. You can't give an odd amount. Put Bowery sticker on the handle. I'll send some more. I don't know if it. Yeah, it would probably wrap around maybe. I do like how this handle like moves out of the way. Like that's pretty nice. I don't remember if the bag I had that was like this did that or not. It's already pretty heavy. What kind of work do they do? So one of my sons is a CPA accountant, and then my other son is in healthcare administration. He works in cancer research. Use a razor scraper quite frequently. Yeah, I've got the Kywheats like knife that turned into a razor blade, and I thought about doing that instead of the fastback, but it takes those weird blades, and I didn't want to mess. And it's a little bit weird to change the blade out on that one. Because my climb one, I love it. I used it today. I use it all the time. The Tough Built one I still use, and also again, he's not really been a tool user his whole life. So there's certain tools where I'm like, I don't know if I mean, I'm sure he can figure it out, but it's like some stuff that's intuitive to us when we use them probably wouldn't be so much to him. Yeah, tape measure went in. Got my name on it. He'll be picking out your nursing home in a few years. I only got to do a few projects with my father. He was a carpenter, and we built a little picket fence together. Yeah, so my biological dad was an electrician, owned his own electric company, but my mom and dad got divorced whenever I was pretty young. But I do remember going to some job sites and putting on like plate covers and stuff like that. Plug circuit tester. That might not be bad. So that again, these would be things if he calls me on the phone, I can say, get out this thing and put it in, plug it up type of thing. That might not be bad. And I think I got an extra. Yeah, I do. That way, if he's got something not working, he can at least plug that in and tell me what it is. Maybe out here. Let's see if we go out here. Klein pliers wrench. Yep, I got him. That's what I gave him, was one of those Klein's pliers wrench. And I'm not giving him this because I don't like it. I like it just fine. I've got so many of them, like Knipex and stuff, and those take jaw protectors. Like that's the main reason why I don't keep this one in my bag, is because I keep them in my SPMC with the jaw protectors, because I end up taking off a lot of aerators and stuff like that. And that's the only reason why I don't carry these with me all the time. They work just fine to me. Like the Klein ones have been fine. A can of super slick stuff. I don't part with he can buy his own super slick stuff. I used my dad's old vice grips over the weekend. He passed in 2004. I think of him every time I use his old tools. Multimeter. Yeah, he wouldn't even know what it is. putty knife. I probably got some of them in the house. A lot of my paint stuff is in the house, like the small putty knives. That's why I wasn't even sure if I had a painter's tool out here, but I thought I might have. I keep a bunch of stuff. That green bucket's my. If I go to do a paint job, I just got random paint stuff inside of that one that I might would use. That way, I just come in here and grab that bucket and throw it in my truck, and then I dig through it whenever I'm at the job site, whenever I'm looking for something. How old? 21. Oh, Elliot just said it. Yeah. He wants a Martinez hammer and square. Right now, you can get a free trim square if you buy a hammer for $400 or something like that. Stud finder. I put a stud finder. The a Franklin sensor. It's down in the bottom though. I had an extra Franklin sensor. It's actually my house stud finder, but I don't need two of them. Like if I'm here at my house, I've got mine in my truck. The few times I need one, I'll just come out here and get it. Small copper pipe cutter and some emery cross. Couple quarter turn valves. Yeah, he's never going to do that. He'd be better off just have my phone number instead of those tools. My dad gave me a Yankee screwdriver, a brace and bit, and a pair of rusty pliers and a ball peen hammer. Still have them. Stud finder keeps going off when I put it in my pocket. Yeah, that was my joke about the tape measure, those Milwaukee stud tape measures. It's got my name on it. Which M12 high output do you think is the best? I mostly run the high output 5.0 batteries. Now I mostly run high output batteries. I guess I should say that. Most of my batteries, because all the tools I bought in the last little bit, I never buy batteries. Like I don't ever just go in and buy batteries because I get them with tools all the time. So, but I've got enough of the high output of the 2.5s and the 5.0s that's pretty much all I use for the most part. When I got my first Martinez hammer, I got in super trouble with the wife. I bought it for Father's Day. She was mad. So mad I ended up getting another the next week. Yeah, I got my Martinez square. Miss Maintenance got that for me for our anniversary, I think it was. Because I kept looking at them and kept looking at them. I really wanted one, but it's not like it's a drastically, like, it doesn't do anything magically different for me. It does have a lot more features on it for like a certain group of carpenter, but it's not nothing really that I use that often. But I did want a mini square with a little level in it. It's more than what I wanted more than anything, and that one had one in it. Miss Maintenance should get you a Martinez. Tell her she's so lucky to have you. No, they are nice looking hammers. Like they're really nice, but like I definitely wouldn't like. They do have some smaller, like I want to say 12-ounce ones or something like that. That maybe I guess, but I mean I definitely wouldn't want one with the like big framer handle and all that kind of stuff because I don't do that kind of framing and stuff. Like most framing I do with screws and a impact because it's all interior partition walls and stuff like that. And I just prefer using screws and a screwdriver and all that kind of stuff because I can kind of make stuff be more apt to where I want it to be. Sometimes you shoot a nail gun and stuff moves a little bit and you can't get stuff as precise. It's a little bit faster for sure, but that kind of speed doesn't make any difference to me. It's not that drastic over the course of some little small framing job. It's not that big a deal. Now, if you do a whole house, that's a different story. Only tool he really needs is a mortgage maintenance business card. That's why I said I'm not loading it down with like this isn't you need to be able to fix everything in your house tool bag, because he's not going to do that. Like, it's just going to be basic stuff. And I'm going to give him a lot of these tools in here he'll probably still never use, but I'm going to give them to him just in case he will. Because like I said, my son has done some stuff at his house, like putting furniture and stuff together, that I would have probably never, my oldest son, that I would have never thought he might would have done either, but you never know. And again, I was the same way. Whenever I was 19 and stuff like that, I didn't really do a lot of the stuff that I'm doing right now. Did you get the flip house you were talking about last week? We decided not to. It was, we got to go inside of it, and it would have been you'd be better off to tear down the house and build a new house on the lot, because the floors were like, I mean, like a hole of a boat without a floor in it. Like, I mean, it would have been, you had to replace everything in it. So then by the time, it'd be different if you didn't have to do, like, the whole outside really needed to be redone anyways, like the side, all the siding and all that kind of stuff. But with that much damage on the inside, then you're basically back at building a new house, because you still are gonna, if you did all that work, it's gonna be actually more time consuming to fix that than it would be to build something new. I have the 14-in-1 flip socket metric and standard nut drivers, and I want to get something similar as a screwdriver with like a bit carousel for bit storage. 14-in-1 flip socket. So do you want the screwdriver to still be able to use your flip sockets, or are you just wanting a total different screwdriver to be a second screwdriver that's just for regular bits? This seems more like you have a tool bag at his house. Yeah, that's why I said too. I'm sticking extra stuff in there for if I'm there, which most of the time he's gonna live kind of mostly where I work at. Like, so I'll be in my work truck during the day, kind of around that area. If I stopped in to do something or whatever, I'm gonna have all my stuff. But every now and then it might be we're in town, me and Miss Maintenance in her car, and we stop by, and he just might mention, "Hey, this is doing this." Uh, then if I don't have my tool bag with me, I'd be working out of this thing. Alan said I gave him two of the, there's Allen bits inside that Klein set. This, it's way down in there. There's a Klein Connect set. I'm going to turn this vertical anyways. There's hex bits inside of that, SAE. And then I think this actually be better to be in there like that. And then I gave him two of those folding key things. I don't think I've got an extra set of I got extra sets of keys, but they're ones I use I use them in here. I've got the Milwaukee set, this set right here. These are my garage set. I really actually like these quite a bit. The easy outs are where you flip it open and get those out. Because I mostly use bits and a screwdriver for work, but I got a set of like Bondus keys that I keep in my truck. It's just keys too, because sometimes the bits don't work. Like, you need a key to fit in somewhere, so I use those. Looks like a bigger crowd on Monday night than Thursday. Second screwdriver for regular bits. So you want one with a bit carousel. Do you want it to be Klein, since do you like the Klein handle? Because I mean, to me, my favorite Klein in one right now is the 17-in-1, which has some of the flip socket stuff on it though, but also has bits. But I mean, they've got, I mean, you can get your pick of whatever. They've got like these, but I use 1-inch bits mostly. Like, I use lock and bit holders, 1-inch bits. I keep 1-inch bits with me. Like, I don't keep a lot of extra of this kind of stuff. So that's why I don't carry these kind as much with the double bits. But I mean, they've got tons and tons of like 20 with the bits with where you put whatever you want to in here. But if you like the client handle, like all those are very similar. Like they're all kind of, so whichever one, the 17-in-1, I like the flip socket action on it the best because it's got like just a bit holder and then 1/4 inch and then 5/16 and 3/8 instead of the 1/4 inch where you have to slide it up and down. But I personally also just use a locking bit holder. Let me go get one out of my impact down there because I think I got them all down there. Because then you get magnetism too. I'll turn that light off. I'll forget. So I normally would carry like a bit holding screwdriver like that 20-in-1 I just had and put a locking bit holder, but see that how that's got a lot of play, so that one's not good for that. Let's see whichever other ones we got in here. Most of my bit holding ones are actually in my truck. My 17-in-1 I know was in my truck. That doesn't hold bits. And then some people like the Vera. If you like the Vera, you got that action. You can press the button. It's got bits in it. And then it also has a locking bit holder. But if you specifically want a Klein screwdriver, most of those have some slop with the DeWalt bit holder. I was thinking there was one of them that didn't. And I can't remember what it was, but I don't think I got it. It must be the one of them in my truck. And that's another difference between the 17-in-1. Let me go get that out of my bag real fast. Because this is what I would do if it was me. But it's a combination of 2 screwdrivers, though. So then you got to buy 2 screwdrivers. That's my insulated 6-in-1. So my 17-in-1 must be in my. Let me look in here. Well, now I don't know what I did with my 17-in-1 because it's normally in my. I swapped it out with my 6-in-1 insulated. So what did I do with it? Maybe it's in my vest. Because normally that's in my MCTP. I must have took it out and put it in my vest. Yeah, right there. There she is. So this is your Impact 17-in-1, 1-inch bits in the handle. Comes with a 11-in-1, which to me, even if you don't want to use this, but this is the main difference is like most flip sockets are 1/4 inch, 5/16, and then you got to pull up that little 1/4 inch to hold the bit. I don't like doing that. This one's a dedicated bit holder right there. And then you get a 5/16 and 3/8. But this one comes with this on the other side to take 3/8 sockets, but I don't ever use 3/8 sockets. So the best version, in my opinion, is you take, I think it works that way. Maybe. Now, see, those don't fit, but let me see if this fits. Can't remember if I tried this or not. I want to say it works. Yeah. So you take out the 11-in-1 because I never use that 3/8 adapter that's on here. Put that in your 17-in-1. That doesn't have any slop, but I also don't think it fits down there. Yeah, this, since that's got the bit on, you can't use that. That's why they do that one though. I was going to say, I think I tried that, but then it didn't work. So that's why you can't do it that way, but you could put a 1-inch bit in there. I think there was something you could put in here besides that 3/8 and make it a little more useful. It's not a 1-inch bit either though. I don't know what I put in there. But if you, what I was saying is, if you've already got flip sockets and you don't want to use these, this is how I just do this. Then that's about the right length screwdriver. And then I got the bit holding. If you've already got your flip sockets covered and you don't want to use the flip sockets. And then you don't have to buy the 11-in-1. So 17-in-1 is my favorite. I don't ever use this though. That's kind of useless, but you can't use it the same way as the 11-in-1 because all this takes up the handle space. I know I stuck something in the other side of that though that worked, that I've used before, because I kept this, but I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what I was doing because a 1-inch bit won't hold in these. There was something I put in there. I don't remember. See what all I missed during all that. Torpedo level, we got, yep, 8-in-1 strippers and a meter, a Ted Cook special. You could put a pocket level or a small level. Yeah, I put a small Milwaukee torpedo level. Now I'm going to get all my tools mixed up with it. I'm going to set all that there so I remember I got to change that back. Second screwdriver for regular bits. That's in that Klein mod box has this in it that also takes the this one adjusts and then takes all these bits. And you could also put this adapter in this and use these, or use these with this. This is a pretty nice set. I just don't need it because I've got the essential set, which is basically metric and SAE of all these. This might go up. I think that might be a little bigger than what I think. I think my set only goes up to 3/4, but I can't think of a time where I've needed that. So and that kind of gives him a socket set. Only thing maybe is a small 1/4-inch ratchet or something with a, but I guess I could give him a set of the Makita sockets, possibly. Like I could give him a small ratchet and a set of those. Maybe. Is this normal time for you to be live? No, normally it's Thursday at 6 my time, which is Central Time. And my first name is Joey. I was wishing it was magically Thursday already. Yeah, Miss Maintenance Amanda said we were going to film it. I was thinking about I could make this a video, but I needed to go to like I really needed people telling me, like giving me suggestions, even though, you know, for the most part, it depends on some people are going to think, oh, well, he needs everything, and some people whatever. But just throwing out tool suggestions is going to help more than anything. And I was going to have to go to multiple places. It was just going to be a hard thing to. I couldn't think of a way to film it like by myself, and this was just going to be easier. Erica's birthday was messing with the live. Well, happy birthday, Erica. What's up, Victoria Fernandez? What's up, Robert? Zip ties. That wouldn't be bad. Throw a few of them in there. I'll tell you what. We're going to give him some Utilitech. Might just give him this whole thing. He'll never use all them though. Let's see. All the little rubber band things on them's all broken. Yeah, he's just gonna get that whole case. He can sort that out. I like the adjustable incline. Comes with 3 double-sided 6-inch bits. Oh, the yeah, you could buy. That's the one I've got like 50 handles of in here. Yeah, this handle, you can get the bits that like most of the time you can get it with 1 bit, but you can also buy it with all 3 bits, or you can buy. They got one that's got like a square 1, square 2. They got a Phillips and a slotted of 2 different sizes. They've got a set where you get like you can buy it with just the square 1 and square 2. You can buy it with just the Phillips and slotted, or you can buy it with all 3 of them. It's a very good screwdriver handle as far as adjustable, because you can make this one adjustable, wherever you want to. Like I can make it stop there, there. Where all the other adjustable screwdrivers, you have to have those little lines. Just notice you're closing in on 40K. Yeah, it's getting close. It's I think last time I looked, it was like 700 away, 7 something away, or something like that. More tools coming in while you're out walking. Knipex pliers, wrench, and it's one of my most used besides my Cobra and my Klein 14-in-1. Yeah, my Cobras and pliers wrench are definitely my 2 most used pliers. My 7 1/4 size, my 180s. I use them almost every day, probably. My E's keep drifting to the screwdriver bin. Yeah, I think I'm going to. So now that I've got that opened up, yeah, I'll go ahead and kind of see you guys give me your take on a couple things while we're here. So I may still do it, but I'm going to wait until I actually I'll get a door for free someday if I wait long enough. But and I can't zoom out, so I got a 2x10 up here all the way from there to past this door, so I can put barn door hardware on this if I want to. And then I'm going to put a door there. I thought I'd put a door there and cover it with stickers and stuff, or do something like that. That way, if I want to shut it, I can, but then I can just leave it open 99% of the time. But I think what I'm going to do is I don't really want to clutter up this area too bad, since I'm going to be walking through here quite a bit. I'm not going to put like shelves and stuff on this wall for the most part. This stuff's just in here temporarily because it's all stuff that's in my way for different phases. But I'm only going to put basically this hallway on this side. I'm really only going to use from like this side back for storage. But I thought about over here. Let me get over here so maybe y'all can see better. Like I said, the zoom on the live is bad. I think I'll put a shelf like yay high and put all my Vito bags on that, and then have hangers underneath of it and put all my, which those are what I do with all my vests. Maybe I set them in here. Oh yeah, like all my vest and different things like that. Maybe extra pouches underneath of it. That way, that ain't sticking out from the wall. The shelf will be up high enough that it'd be like at my head or whatever, and you'd be able to see it through this if the door's open. But if I do that, I was going to this bag would be going on that shelf. I think I thought about getting rid of this box. Originally, a long time ago, I had one of these here and one of these over there where my TV is, and then I took one of them down and put that TV up, and I just left this one there. So I thought about taking this down. I used to, store stuff in there. I don't really have it up there for a specific reason. I just so happened to have lumber one day and built me two boxes and stuck them up there because I like the look of it. But that was a long time ago. I think that was, I don't think I've had two up there since I've had the YouTube channel. So that would be, I could move that off, put up a lot more of these stuff and put screwdrivers all over the wall or other tools or whatever it is. And then over here, so that's the sliding door, taking that down, adding more tool stuff over there. And then over here, appreciate that, Chris. I did this. I've got this camera system that I'll be filming a video for installing this. A company reached out and heard me saying that I was going to be putting in a camera system, and they thankfully sent me one. So I'm going to put that inside of here because this is where I got rid of that window, and that file cabinet that's in there was here, but I didn't want to put it back because I made all this. I've got some screws. You can see like right there's one right there. And then all I'd have to do is come in here and unscrew these two shelves. I can take that panel out. I nailed all that to a plate, a piece of plywood. And essentially I'd still be able to get inside that wall right here. I don't plan on ever having to do that, but I did it in a way that I can do it if I ever have to. So that's why I didn't want to put that file cabinet there, because I didn't want to have to move it out if I ever wanted to do that, because that's a big pain. But on this shelf, I'm going to have that recorder, my internet box. But I thought about, like, my chargers fit in here too, because this circuit is by itself, 100% by itself, just one circuit or one plug. I was either I could set chargers in here, but then I'm going to have a ton of cables and stuff showing. I thought about coming over here and putting a board from here to here and, facing this off and screwing all my chargers to it. And then I could have holes going back into this and have it all plugged into that. And then you wouldn't see all these cables and stuff. But I haven't decided on that. That's something I've been pondering on. I'm going to see if I can see how much power I've got on my phone. I might have to plug up I'm going to get my top off and plug my phone up real fast, just because I'm not sure how much battery I got. And if it dies, it's a pain. And I know my iPad's on low percentage too. Let's see if y'all said anything about all that. More wall thermostat screwdriver. So I gave him this set here. Originally, I had a little small client out here that I was going to just put that in there, but instead I gave him this set because this is something I could actually see somebody who owns a home. Like if you taking apart a remote control or any of that kind of stuff, sometimes you run into some little weird stuff. So I'm going to give him this set, which has that screwdriver in it, which has a long and a short, but it has all the Phillips and slotted and all that stuff. And I don't carry this like this. Like this one's just been out here in my garage. And ever since I bought this thing from Menards, I've actually been using the bits and stuff in it, just in a different screwdriver. Like that's a pretty nice setup right there. Which that's a good set actually. Like I don't care for the screwdriver part of it that much, but mod box looks nice. Is it very expensive? Most of them are. I mean, you're usually looking at least like for the bigger sets, like $70 to $100. Joey probably had a bit set and an impact wrench under the mattress. Beater chisel. You just gave away all those Klein mini ratchets. Yeah, I know it. And I might actually, I guess they still sell this. I probably want to keep this one. I've got a bunch of mini ratchets. I'm not gonna. I'll find another small one. I've got tons of little 1/4 inch ratchets because I want to keep the one that's got. I like using both of them for certain stuff. I might need to charge up my iPad too, but I don't know if I got a USB-C to lightning cable out here. Probably not. We'll see how long she lasts. I'm at 20%. Empty nest syndrome fixing to hit hard. Yeah, I think Miss Maintenance gonna have a hard time. Amanda's gonna have a hard time with it. Did you try to get? Did you get to try the Milwaukee multifunction compact utility knife yet? No, my Home Depot. Like I've seen a few people have videos. I think it was CE tooled in there. I think he had the Milwaukee pliers wrench and something else. It says that my store's got them, but they don't have them out. And then anytime I've ever ordered anything like that, and it says that they got them, but they're not out there on the shelf, they just cancel my order, so I don't even try it anymore. Sliding door would be cool. My son's going to trade school next, so I'm going through the same thing. He's doing auto mechanics. Yeah, they can get pricey. Auto mechanics for sure. Would you do the student discount on Snap-on at 50 to 55% off or Icon? I don't know. The 50 to 55% off might put it pretty close to the same price. I guess it would depend on like if where you're at has Snap-on trucks a lot to where you could warranty stuff easy or not, or because the Icon is warranty easy, you go straight into the store and you don't have to wait around for stuff. But I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know which one would be the better advantage for that. Like I don't ever see a Snap-on truck, so I don't know how often one comes by to, fix your stuff and all that kind of stuff. Put a large Morgan's maintenance decal on the door, got a self remote. Just make sure the shelf's above your head height. Well, it's like I could even put shelves on that wall over there and it wouldn't. I got about over a foot before it gets to even the doorway, and then I got like an extra like 40 inches. Like the walkway would be fine. I could put shelves there, like some small like 12-inch shelves, and stack stuff up there, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to have like this whole thing that you just saw over here, I'm going to have on the other side too, except for that side's not going to have doors and windows anywhere. So that whole entire thing is just going to be shelves. And I've gained some shelf space in here. A lot of this stuff in here that's in here right now is not going to be in here anymore. So I'm going to have tons of room for storing stuff that I don't feel like I need to put something right there right now. I may later. I mean, I may change it and say, hey, I need some 12-inch shelves right here, but I'm going to start out not putting any shelves there. That's like, I'm not really going to town on exactly figuring out how things are going to be until I get all the spaces open to me and available with like the file cabinet in there. Could even leave it just sitting where it is. But I also did pick up, I got y'all charging now. I did pick up 3 file cabinets over here the other day from Miss Maintenance's work. I've got y'all hooked on charging up over here. 3 single ones. I can't flip them around, but so these are 26 inches deep. I normally prefer the lateral file, like style, like that right there. But I got these 3 for free. So I'm going to put these whenever I open that up in there on one of the far ends because they're deep. And I'm just going to use them as drawers to hold stuff. Because that's what I've said a bunch of times, like whenever we're talking about doing stuff. Same thing I just said about that door. It's like, I'm not going to go buy a door and put on there. There'll be a day where I'll demo something and I'll get a door for free and then I'll put it on there because whatever door I put on there, I'll probably be putting something on the front of it anyways that would make, unless I just so happen to get a flat door, but to make it to where if I do put stickers or something on it, it'd be easy. Where are you going to store the little Debbie's? Those have to be in a weather sealed mod box or pack out. That's what Clint just says in all those pack out. Rami Tools from Brazil is from Brazil. Really like your channel. Appreciate that. There's one of my friends here. His wife is from Brazil. Are there stairs? Somewhat. I got my top stair and my bottom stair done, and then my middle 2 steps are cutoffs because I got the wrong boards at Menards. I pulled them from what I thought was the 10-foot section, but I must have been pulling from the 8-foot and didn't notice until I got home and was cutting them. Last week you were thinking about putting your rolling cart in there. And see this side, yeah, if I put my rolling cart in a spot, in where I've got my pack out over there under the window, yeah, this 5-drawer rolling cart would also fit in there too, and that may be what I put in there instead of those, but those 2 fit in there like perfectly side by side. So my rolling cart, I actually use this like this right here. Let me turn around here so you can see. I got a cable attached now, so I got to do finagling. I use this on all the lives just to hold my tablet like that. But this will fit in here, but it won't fit with, I'd have to fold that down every time, which isn't a big deal, but I can put that in there too if that's what I decide, if I do something else with those, because I thought about maybe stacking these in there, but I've got a step on this side because of the grade of my land outside. I had to do this, and that curb was already in here on the building. This side over here, I won't have a step. It'll just be a straight shot going into that storage room. I poured it the same as this slab right here. I had to do it on this side because of the slope of my yard outside and tying it in. I couldn't change it because it's tied into my driveway and a bunch of other stuff. Audio's coming and going. Let me see. It might have been whenever I plugged this thing up. Sometimes whenever I plug this charger up, it unplugs my mic a little. Let me turn this up and see what that sounds like. You dodged a bullet with him already getting a furnished place, moving furniture around after 40 is not fun. Yeah, it's nice too. And like I said, it's all pretty nice stuff because those people treated it like it was like a, hotel type thing where nobody was like living there type of thing. And they also had it nice because they wanted people to give good reviews and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty like he got a really good deal. And the fact, especially that came, because that's why I told him he's leaving here with really nothing but a bedroom suit type of thing. So it had dishes, pots, pans, all that kind of stuff, like all those stuff's already there, like couches, TV. He got a really good deal on the place, even as it was, even if it didn't have all that stuff. But I said, you add all that stuff up, I mean, that's thousands of dollars. Can never find the Irwin tape measures. I know as soon as I found them and decided I liked them, Lowe's quit carrying them. They were on Amazon for a little while. Luckily, I've still got some. Jeff Bowery sent me some, and I've still got a few extra ones. Where'd you get the Klein tool tumbler? Klein tool tumbler. If you're talking about this one, yeah, I guess you are because my other one's not out here. I got that off of eBay long time ago. There's still some on eBay. I actually saw it on Facebook Marketplace whenever I first saw that it was a thing, and it was a little bit too far. I didn't want to drive and go get it, and so I just started searching around. But it was a promotional item, so it's not like it's for sale somewhere anymore. It was like one of those things where you go into your electrical supply house, you buy so much of Klein Tools, they give you something for free. It was one of those one year, essentially, I think. So Husky Tote, still my favorite. Tried lots of Vito, still prefer that Husky. Clicky Tech just now getting here. Yeah. So this is what we've came up with, which it's actually pretty heavy, to be honest with you. Using these as needle nose slash, also has some cutters and some strippers, which he'll never use. I've given him these just mainly for a cutter. And then if you want to pull on something, small little pry bar, couple dedicated screwdrivers, Phillips and slotted, Lebanon 1 Klein magnetic, Milwaukee torpedo level, GFCI receptacle tester. And again, he is not someone who typically would use these. I'm just giving them so there is some at his house. Like for instance, like this, if he calls me and says, I've got a plug that's not working, I'll say, well, go get your plug tester out, plug it in, tell me what it says. That will give me a better idea on what maybe the fix is, that type of thing. Milwaukee battery powered light, since it's in a bag that won't get used every day. If you have a USB-C, like a charging one, it's liable to go dead and then be bad. So fastback, Inkzall, Milwaukee non-contact voltage tester, again, for if he calls me and I can say, get out that red and black little pin looking thing and stick it and see what it does. Some razor blades. I'm giving him these specifically because it opens and closes really easy to get them out. Some of those packs a little bit crazy. Nail set, Klein mod box set. Let's see if there's a number on this. Usually they're on the inside. 33806. I don't know what the name of it is, but that gives him a little bit of a socket set, also a screwdriver with multiple options for bits, and he can put this in here and use the sockets too. Precision driver set, hammer, stud finder, tape measure, pair of gloves, couple wrenches, pliers wrench, butter pliers. I guess I can swap, yeah. Painter's tool. And earplugs and safety glasses, and a couple of these Allen keys. And there were some Allen key SAE bits in that Klein set, but here's a metric and SAE set of those foldable kind. That's what we got. No impact or no drill. No, I'm gonna wait and see if he ends up needing one. I'll give him a. I've got some extra M12 ones that I just use around here. But again, them take batteries, and if he's never using them, I just assume them not just sit over there and the batteries go dead and everything else too. Not that the Milwaukee little M12 batteries usually do pretty good just sitting around, but if I start seeing him do some stuff where he could use one, I'll give him one. But I'm not going to start him out with one. Lifetime supply of utility blades. Make sure y'all are hydrating. It's getting warm in the southern regions, and work on eating better so we can last for the children and grandchildren. It was the other one that is like a screwdriver handle, the tumbler. So the insulated, like it's got the red rim on it. I got that one at kleintoolsgear.com, I think, or Klein Pro Gear. I put a link in the description of the video. I always forget how the wording on their website is, because it's not like it's affiliated kind of with Klein Tools, but it's not like coming directly from Klein Tools. It's like a company that sells Klein Tools gear. I can't remember if it's Klein Tools Gear, Klein Tools Pro Gear. It's something along those lines. Garage looks great. You two have done a fine job. If Joey sold 10% of his tools, it would offset the cost. Wish my dad was cool as you back when I needed my own new tools. Oh, I mean, if I had like somebody who was going into like actual going to be an electrician or doing whatever, it's like, I mean, I could really get you something, but I still use all those, so I'm not giving away my super good ones. And like I said, and if it was something he was going to use all the time, I'd be fine with giving somebody some top of the line stuff, but I don't want to put top of the line stuff in a tool bag that's going to sit in the closet probably 70%, 80% of the time. Yeah, today I started working at a house. A guy bought a house, and he uses it he's going to be using it as a rental house, but it's a guy that I know, go to church with and stuff. But uh, he had a spot between his the master bathroom and the master bedroom was real soft, you could almost watch it bounce up and down. So we figured it was going to be like bad rotted out. So I pulled up some of the floor in the master bedroom, saw that the sheathing was wet. It had gotten wet, but it wasn't like it was just like, oh, this is garbage. It just kind of had like a wet look to it. It was still fairly solid. But the tile that was in the bathroom, it was ceramic tile. They had put down backer board, but they didn't put down thin set and then the backer board. They just screwed the backer board to the plywood. And then they probably only used about very few screws in it, because we pulled it all up. That's how we know. But the tile and the backer board just came straight up because there was a leak basically under the sink of the vanity. I had to tear the whole bottom of the vanity out. It's not leaking now, but it had done it at some point in time. And it basically got under all that backer board and messed all that up, and then all that stuff was loose. But we took out the tile in that bathroom in 2 minutes. Like the whole entire floor just came up, backer board, everything in 2 minutes. They had maybe probably, I would say, in a 3x5 sheet of backer board, they may use 6 screws, if that. No thin set holding the backer board to the ground, no nothing. So they pretty much But it was one of those things where it was a combination of the two things. One is it would eventually fail just because it was. It probably failed prematurely because it got water all up and underneath of it. I really need to charge my iPad, but I don't think I got a cable in here. Stupid lightning cable. That's what that thing takes. And I think I took all mine in the house. I'm gonna be glad when one day I don't need a lightning cable. Anyone ever hire you to do some in-depth home inspection? No, I do have some people just ask me to come look. Like I'll have friends that are looking to buy a house. Matter of fact, like a guy I worked with, his son was looking to buy a house, and he called me and asked me if I'd go over there and go through it, like just to get an idea of what would be involved if there's anything major and all that kind of stuff. So I'll go do that for like friends and stuff sometimes. I've actually thought about it. It wouldn't be a bad gig, in my opinion, to do home inspections. I don't think. A lot of crawling and crawl spaces and attics, though. Not that, don't do that anyways, but that's pretty much an everyday, like crawl space and attic. Like every now and then, I got to crawl in a crawl space or go up in an attic, but it's not like every day. And home inspector, you'd have to do it like every day, multiple times a day. And it's not that I care to do it. It's just the older I get, I don't want to do it. Jamie said your boy's lucky to have you looking out for him like this. Do you think about giving your son a mag mat if he needs to put things together? They're great for holding screws and stuff. That Lotusol mat's a lifesaver for me. I'm trying to think if I got like I've got some. Yeah, I've got some ones that I don't use that were like given to me that aren't the ones I use in my work. I think I've got some of those from like Napa and stuff like that over there. Little trays. I might give him one of those. My old body's not liking crawl space and attics. Yeah, certain ones are fine. Like I can, but there's some of them that are still like belly crawlers and certain a lot of attics that have a bunch of different hips and stuff in it. Like that's a lot of getting around and over trusses and stuff like that that aren't just like a straight boom. And then there's some attics that I've got to crawl in, like the pitch on the roof is like older ranch houses. My oldest son's house that he just moved into not too long ago. That attic, man, you've got to crawl through that whole thing. It's pretty short. He would make a great home inspector, but around here they make you be licensed specifically for that job. Yeah, and then there would probably be a lot of banks that would be like, don't hire Joey over at Morgan's Maintenance. He finds everything, and we can't never sell a house. Realtors wouldn't use me. I'd be too thorough. I'm going to stay on here till my iPad dies because then I won't have a chat. And I'm at 11%. We'll see how long that 11% stays. It's been eaten up pretty fast. Let me turn the brightness down some. Maybe that. 10%. So if for some reason, my iPad die, I won't cut off the stream though. So once my iPad dies, I won't be able to see if you guys say anything to me anyways, but I'll be able to tell you that I'm leaving. Gold Star, that ain't right. Yeah, that ain't right guy. And then there's the little guy who always walks around and says, I can't tell you who the builder is or whatever. I don't know I can't remember what that guy's name is. That might be the Gold Star guy. The insurance inspector that was at my house this summer was a joke. Cy Porter. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the other guy. Yeah, most of the insurance adjusters don't know like anything. They're just hired right off the street to go try to figure out a way to say that it's not the claim to be paid. It's really comical. Even sometimes I had a guy that came and inspected a roof for our church building, and he called me and said, "I got up on the roof and he was calling certain things like he said like those the plastic thingies that are up there. I didn't see any kind of damage on those. Like he didn't even know what to call certain things on the roof. It's like, so you went and inspected a roof and yet you don't even know what the things on the roof are called. And I'm supposed to be confident in the fact that you're saying that it's not the kind of it's not storm damage or whatever." Cy Porter is his state's most hated person in the industry. Yeah, because we had a guy actually come to look at that roof, didn't tell anybody he was even coming. Like, because he called me one day and said, "We're very busy." He said, "Do you have like actual water getting into your building?" I said, "No." I said, "You can come look at it just whenever. Like, it's not a crazy rush." Well, then he didn't even call and tell me he was coming to look at it. I just got a thing in the mail one day, like a month later, that said, "Your claim has been denied, this and that." And so I called him up and I was like, "Well, can you explain?" Didn't send me pictures, didn't send me anything. I was like, "Well, can you explain to me why it is that you don't feel like, it's hail damage?" Because I've got a roofer who looked at it and said it's covered in hail damage. He said, and he sent me pictures. I've got pictures where he was up there and I said, I went up there with him, all kinds of stuff. And then, I said, "I'm not disputing what you're saying." I said, "I just need to understand why you came to the conclusion that you did." And I said, so that I can, because it's not my house. This was a building I was in charge of. And I said, I've got to be able to sit in a meeting and explain to the other people, these people say this and you say this. I need to be able to explain that. And, that's when he was telling me about the plastic thingies and all that kind of stuff. Well, then I said, "Well, can you come back out here and actually, when somebody's here," I said, for all I know, you never did even come out here. I mean, you don't have pictures, you don't have anything. For all I know, you didn't even come out here and look at the roof." I said, "Can you come back out here?" And he's like, "No, I'm not coming back out there." And like, I mean, just like flat out, wouldn't come back out there. And I was like, "Well, all right." So I called up the guy that I knew that ran the insurance company. He's like, "I'm just going to tell you," I said, "I'm not too thrilled about, y'all's business model of insurance, because that's not who I have for my own personal insurance. I don't use this company." But yeah, they're pretty shoddy. Yeah, there's only a few different thingies on a roof. You should know their names. Yeah, there's not even like you said. It's not like it's 1,000 different. It's not like it's the names of plumbing and electrical fittings and different things like that. It's like there's like about two or three things. I get inspections for decks and such, and I give them a binder of materials used, and they always want to call out Simpson screws. Mm-mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah, certain inspectors, like if the drawings say something specific, like that you better have whatever that is, or you have to have something that's from an engineer or whatever that says the opposite. That's like we're working with the place where we just built the quadplex, where they're kind of changing some things in their drawings and all this other stuff, but they're wanting to use the set of drawings for multiple buildings, the same one. And we keep telling them, we're like, you need to don't put specifics like to a T, like certain things in this drawing, like that needs to be in an addendum, that you decide that whenever you build the next one. Because if something changes, or if you want to use something different or do whatever, you're going to have to do that, and you can put that, but then you got to go and change your whole drawing again and add those things in later. You need to make those as bare bones that the city will let you do. Like, I mean, they're going to force you to have certain things in there, but you want the least amount of information in those main drawings as possible, because if it's in there, that's what the inspectors and everything's gonna be looking for. And then you got to have different things that say it's okay to use this or whatever, because they don't usually do it by themselves. Like an inspector doesn't say, "Oh, I know that you can use this instead of that." It's like they're just covering their butt that the paper says you got to have this. That's what they're looking for. I think those brick things on a roof might be a chimney. Permit permits can be terrible depending upon where you live. Yeah, see, like where I live is great. Like I don't have to do anything. I do whatever I want to. Like it's there's not really a now if you could build a new house around me, they will because they actually come from the next town over to inspect stuff where I live. Like we don't have people like locally. So if you're building a new house, like in a subdivision and stuff like that, they'll check it out. But that's good and bad. I mean, there's good to it and bad to it. Bad to it is you buy a house around here, you have no idea what somebody did. Like it could be pretty janky. But the nice thing is, if you do know what you're doing and you want to do your own stuff, like it's pretty nice. As long as you never move and go buy somebody else's house. Mr. 8 and 1 and a meter himself. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Like a 8 foot network rack in a room with a 7 foot 5 ceiling. You just got to cut a hole in the ceiling and put a half a foot up in it. I use I carry a huge bag full of tools, Ted said. Well, it's like you all said. Yeah, he said in my truck. Yeah, I'm the same way, but I still carry more in a bag than you do, Ted. But my truck is basically my big tool bag. But it's like most of y'all said, his number one tool is going to be called Daddy. Branson used to be like that. If you thought you could build it, build it. Not a lot of restrictions. Yeah, like working in the city I work in, that's a total different ball game. Like you got to do all kinds of stuff. How old's my boy? He's 21. Uh, we've been looking for the last couple of years to try to find a house that was like buy it, spend a little bit of money fixing it up. That way, he'd come out pretty good and all that kind of stuff. But this is very hard to find that kind of stuff in my area. And he's more of a go to work and like doesn't want to come home and do a lot of like he's going to be living by himself too. So like it's didn't want a big yard to take care of right now and all that kind of stuff. He's not like, me type of thing, which not that I really like taking care of a big yard, but like he's not like the kind of person like I am as far as tools and all that kind of stuff. But he found a condo and then it was fully furnished and everything because it used to be an Airbnb and they were just wanting to get out of the Airbnb business and they were just wanting to sell it as it was and just get out. So he got a really, even if it was just the condo by itself, without the stuff in it, he still got it for a good price, in my opinion. And it's in really good shape. It's got brand new heat and air unit, brand new water heater. Uh, and it's a Lochnavar water heater, so it's a pretty good water heater. Let's see, it comes with like washer, dryer, refrigerator, all that stuff. Like it had everything in it. Like it even came with like couches, TVs, love seats, uh, beds. Let's see what else was all in it. Like, I mean, dishes inside, like pots and pans, everything somebody would use if it was an Airbnb. It's all in there. We build outside of town a lot, and they really want to know is how much they can charge for taxes. That's the bulk of really what all of it is. Like, we were just talking about that because I just paid my. So I don't live in the city that I work in, but I have to pay taxes on the money that I make working in that city to the city. So I have to keep up with all that. And um, Amanda went and paid that for me yesterday. Uh, Took it because she worked pretty close to where you go pay it. So you got to pay all those taxes, and I got to pay, my annual report stuff and my LLET tax stuff, and then I got to pay federal and state taxes, and then you got to pay for taxes on any kind of permitting stuff you go do. You got to buy your license, you got to get insurance. I mean, basically everything that we do now has turned into 30 people got to make money off of us. There's 30 people out there that's got jobs making money off of the people working that don't do anything but really collect money. That's all they do. But they got to take it from us so that those people have a job, I think. I don't know. A lot of people got to get your nickels, but it's just more and more people getting your nickels these days. One of the best gifts my dad gave me was hand-me-down tools and knowing how to use them. Clicky Tech just bought a Klein tool tumbler. Yeah, that one actually works out good in that van bag that I got from Steve's Woodshop and Tool Review. I was going to buy it anyways, but I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't have drunk out of it. Like it would have been something I just bought because I thought it was nice. But I've actually been drinking out of it, and it works pretty good. Like it keeps its temperature for. I had it in my truck. Actually, I had it in the Amanda's car. I put coffee in it that morning. Put it in the car. We went somewhere. I think we went to church. Sat through like we were in Bible class, had church. Then it was probably like 3 hours or something later by the time it was in there, and we got back out to the car, and it was still hot. I lose $40 on every 100 I make in taxes and crap like that. Yeah, that's what I said. There's so many people out there that just basically get a little bit of your money all the time. Like, and it's whether it's insurance, taxes, all that stuff. Like, that's what I always think when everybody's like, well, we need to tax people more and tax these people more and tax, tax, tax. It's like, in my opinion, it's like the fix is because it isn't like they're spending the money great and you're getting a bunch of stuff for it. It's like, it should just be, hey, why don't you just let us keep some of our money and let us decide what to do with it? Because I think we could probably spend it better than you do. But that's just my thought on it. It should be, instead of, hey, we need to tax people more, it should be, how about we tax people less and you spend less? How about that? But then there'd be so many people that wouldn't have a job because their whole job is based upon taking some of your money. You have to pay city income tax. Yeah, basically. Because I work in that city. I only pay it on the money that I make in that city, though. Like, so if I've got other income, I don't have to pay, like, I only pay taxes on the amount that I work in that city, which is most of my work, to be honest with you. It's really about 100% of it as far as that goes. But just look at your phone bill. There was a tea party 250 years ago about being overtaxed. Yeah, and that was like a nothing tax. Yeah, because then you go pay some of that stuff, and you're just like, and it's a big difference too. Like you think about it whenever you work for something. Like I just started working for myself, like 3 4 years ago, whatever it's been now, and I never paid quarterlies and all that kind of stuff. I just got held out of my check, and you still know because you see your check stub and you see whatever. Which most of the time mine got direct deposited. I didn't even see stuff like that. You just know it's getting taken out. But it's like you start paying quarterlies and start paying all these stuff and all that kind of stuff, and you see what the checks are, and then like you see how many, like basically this whole job over here that I just did that for the government. I just did that for the city. I just did that for insurance, or I just did that for whatever. Like you start thinking about it in that way when you start doing it like what I'm doing now. That's it starts to really irritate you. Like I I wouldn't really and I still don't get tore up about it because there ain't nothing I can do about it anyways. But it's like you don't think about it as much though, I think. And now that I've been doing what I'm doing now and paying taxes the way that I do now, it's pretty irritating when you start seeing some of the stuff that they spend the money on and you know how much, you know, you're spending of the percentage of your money and they're just throwing it away, basically. Pretty irritating. That's why the rich play tax games. Is your work mainly in a neighboring town? How far away is it? Yeah, for the most part. And it's like depends on what side of that town I work in. So it could be 15 minutes, could be 40 minutes if it's the far side from the side I live on type of thing. But usually it's like 20 minutes or so. I'm wherever I'm working at, 20, 25 minutes driving. I prefer that though. I'd rather live where I live and work where I work than live where I work and work where I work. Like, I'd rather do that. I refuse to pay quarterly. They don't get any of it earlier than I have to. Like I said, I get the idea of permitting, and especially in certain things where you're going to have a bunch of people, like it's some kind of thing, like it needs to be built in a way so that something doesn't fall down and 1,000 people die or whatever. And I'm sure it's just like everything else. At the beginning, when they started implementing that you need to get permits and you need to be licensed and you need to be this, it probably wasn't as big an ordeal as what it is now. Like, I guarantee it wasn't. I get it. But just over time, it's let's add this extra step in there. That way, this person can make a nickel, and then we'll add an extra step between him and the next person so that they can make a nickel. And there's so many people that take a nickel from you. By the time it's all said and done, out of your dollar, you get like 20 cents, and it's just turned in that way. But that's why I said it's never to me. I keep hearing all the time, and again, I'm not a political person. I could care less. Like, I feel like neither side's good. Like, none of them are for you as a working person. Like, yeah, I've never lived any different. No matter who's been president, no matter who's not been, it's been the same for me. No matter what, it's like maybe there's a bonus if you're below or above me, but where I'm at, it's been exactly the same for the most part. But I never feel like every time I keep hearing people say we need to tax people more, we need to tax people more. It's like, are y'all smoking something? Because they tax the crap out of us now. If anything, it needs to be we need to get rid of a bunch of this stuff that's taking my nickels and just get rid of that. And then that would be a lot better. A couple new veto bass could be a deduction. Do you have an apprentice or helper on the books, or is it strictly you? Yeah, I'm just me. Now, me and my buddy, the guy who helped me do this garage, the guy who came over to that, like if you saw him in the videos, we work together a lot, but he's still his own business and I'm my own business. So that way, because he's the same way as I am, like I don't want him relying on me for work and he doesn't want me relying on him. So, but we almost work together just about every day. We've always got jobs going on. So we basically, he gets jobs, I get jobs, we help each other do them. And then, if we don't have nothing to do, I do stuff by myself. He does some stuff by himself if we don't have bigger stuff going on. And it seems to be like we've been doing that pretty much since I started, and it's worked out pretty well. So I'd like to work with. He may end up working longer than me. I mean, he's older than me by a little bit. So, but he's one of those I don't see quitting. Like he'll probably work until they put him under. So, but I'm going to work that way until he quits working, and then once he quits working, I'm going to shift more to just service work, and then by that time, I'll be at an age where I don't want to be doing drywall and suites and stuff like that either. So a license does not mean that you know what needs to be done. I have fixed a licensed electrician's problem way more than once. I 100% that. And again, I'm not saying this is that way across the board. I'm sure there's far more handymen out there that do work that they shouldn't do. But I can't tell you how many people that I've went in behind electricians more so than anything, where it's just like I know that this guy's a licensed electrician, and And it's not that they don't even know what to do. They're just lazy or do whatever. And it's like, I know that this was not a handyman that did this. This was a licensed electrician that did this, and it is crap. So then I see all those videos all the time about how Handy Andy strikes again or does whatever. And it's like, there's a lot of times where it's not a Handy Andy, it's a licensed person. Doers get it done. Small government needs to happen. What's up? Go tool reviews. How long you been doing maintenance? So in different degrees. So I started out working in factories, and I started out just working on lines in factories. And then I kind of like, they would have some work in tool and die, and then also some work in industrial maintenance while you were there. Like, hey, we're looking for some people to move into maintenance, or we're looking for people to move into tool and die, or I'd just go work with those guys, doing stuff. So I started out like running presses and stuff like that. And then I started doing some tool and die stuff with the tool and die guy. I started doing some industrial maintenance stuff to the point where whenever I left the last place that I worked before I went to do facilities maintenance for a campus, uh, I was like the shift leader of the whole entire uh, department within that certain factory. So I just kept moving through and moving up and just doing different stuff whenever I was working in factories. And then I went and worked for a children's home that had multiple like apartments, campus houses, office buildings, all that kind of stuff, doing facilities maintenance for them. So that was more like a residentially type stuff, but then also a little bit of commercial. And then I worked in commercial construction for a few years in between me working there, but I worked there for like almost 20 years. But like somewhere in the middle of there, I left for a few years and worked for a commercial construction company because I wanted to work with a guy who I work with now just to pick up some things and also just learn some things. So I learned a lot of stuff in there about bidding and, I was a project manager for them. So I went out and bid jobs and then oversaw them and scheduled stuff and all that kind of stuff like that. But I've been doing since I was, I don't know, 19. So I've been in factory since I was 19. I'd say like 25 years if I like actual doing more stuff geared towards this kind of stuff. 25, 26 years or something like that. How many pounds? I think yesterday I weighed and I was down 34. I think 34. What gave it away that he or she was licensed trash on the floor? How's the iPad battery? I'm at 7%. I turned the little brightness down, so that's which usually the last like few percentages on your phone or the iPad usually kicks in for a while. Like I don't know why that is, but we'll see you, Clint. I'm not saying unlicensed people are bad by any means. It's more anyone that a GC eats a lot of the cost. What's up, vegan? Appreciate that, buddy. Bidding's my shortfall. I know the least about that. What's up, Asher? Yeah, bidding can. I actually prefer for certain customers, but just because some things are very time consuming to bid, and there are certain things where there's no way you could really bid it right. So then you overshoot because I'm not going to lose money, type of thing. You start thinking about this, like what I'm doing right now. Like I have no idea until I pull up this floor what I'm even going to be doing. Like I don't know how involved it's going to be, and that's what I told the guy. I'm like, you know, I can't really give you a hard price on this unless it's a high hard price because I'm going to price it as if I've got to gut this thing to nothing. I said, now I may get into it. I don't have to. I said, so there's a lot of customers where I just do time and material. If it's that kind of work and it's somebody I know and it's somebody I do a lot of work for or whatever, it helps them because it's more, you know, by the by the book as far as I'm not going to be hammering it to you, but I'm not going to lose anything. And it saves me the time of doing a lot of figuring to bid something and all that kind of stuff. Now you typically aren't going to make as much money that way, because if you bid something, you can always, you usually bid it in a way again that you're not going to lose money, And if it works out better for you, then you make more money type of thing, where that's not really an option on time and material. But the good thing is you're not going to lose money. So sometimes I do both. Just depends. I've often thought about becoming a golf ball. What's up, Joseph Muhammad? Goofball. I was wondering what you meant by golf ball. I thought maybe you just thought you get hammered all the time or something or other by people, so you thought might as well be a golf ball. How many I don't want to do it numbers have you given that were accepted? Yeah, there's quite most of the time I'm just upfront with people because I've got about the same customers. Most of the time I've kind of gotten to where the same customers are hiring me all the time for the most like the bigger keep you busy customers. I've got a few like homeowners and stuff that it's very few and far between that you go to their house. But I'm usually pretty upfront with people. If it's something I don't want to do, I'm just like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I said I don't really have the because most of the time it's not that I don't want to do it. It's not best for them that I do it because it's not really a one person job or it's not really an efficient thing for even two people. Like sometimes if it's just something really out there that you need more hands on deck or something like that, and it's not worth me going and getting extra people and all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, here's a guy's number that this is a better fit. Like all kinds of bathroom remodels. If I became a bathroom remodeler, I could stay busy for the rest of my life because it seems like every other call I get is I've got a bathroom that I want remodeled, and there's a guy that I know that's a friend of the guy I work with, and I've gave his number out. I bet I've pretty much kept him in business for the last 2 years of just giving him business like crazy. Like I've gave his number out but he works with like three other guys, and they can go in and tear apart your bathroom and get it done a lot faster than like what I'm going to do if I go do it by myself. And I hate doing bathrooms, like especially I don't like doing tile work anymore. I hate getting all the stuff out. It's like I just don't want. I don't care if I ever do tile again. To be honest with you, other than maybe like little backsplashes or something like that. I've just never been a big fan of the process. I really hate doing tile showers with the floor being tile. Like pretty much if somebody says they want the floor to be tile, I'm just like, no, if you do a pan, I'll do the walls and all that kind of stuff, but I don't want to do a floor. I did one not too long ago. I made a short where I turned a old blue bathroom into a bathroom. There's a short video of that. It's been quite a while ago, but that was the last shower floor that we did. That was a tile floor, and I told my buddy then, I'm like, I said, I don't want to do another one of these. Phone keyboards have a 34 pounds. That's awesome. Mind of their so phone keyboards have a mind of their own. Oh, mine's like half the time mine changes stuff like crazy. Whenever I go comment and reply and stuff, I have to edit it after I hit send because I realize it changed a bunch of stuff. Had a customer that I just don't want to deal with. He wants to tell me how to do it as I'm doing it. He's a know-it-all. I started giving him a quote that's like 4 times higher. Yeah, and that's what customers sometimes don't understand. I had a hard time trying to get the people that I worked with before to understand this. If we had like every now and then, if it's just a job that was too big, like again, I did a lot of the work there, remodeling, all that kind of stuff just by myself as I had time. But you got a 40-acre campus with multiple buildings, whatever, you can't do everything. But every now and then, they'd always want us to get a bunch of bids, because it had a board and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, but we knew who we were going to use because like we wanted to use this company because I'd go tell them like I don't even want to use these other guys. This is who I want to use because they do good work and I don't have to go babysit them the whole day. It's like if you hire somebody else and I've got to spend my whole day over there checking on them and everything else, then it really doesn't do us any good to hire somebody. I might as well just go over and do it. But so we but we'd still have to get multiple bids. Well, then I'm like, well, then we'd have all these people come and bid stuff, knowing that we wasn't going to give it to them. Then, but I'm like, but one of these days you're going to need, because some of these people do different stuff, like in sizes or whatever, and you're going to want them, and you're going to have them bid something 50 times and never give them anything, and so they're going to get to the point where they don't even come really bid it. They're just going to throw some crazy number at it, and that's what you're going to end up paying one of these days. And same thing with like, even if it's a small person, it's like if you're a customer who constantly is a problem for the contractor that you've got working for you, it's like you're going to end up paying more money. Like if you are constantly trying to nickel and dime and this and that, and you run through a bunch of them or whatever, it's like you're going to end up paying more money in the long run because they're going to charge you more money just to deal with you. That's what's going to happen. Have you ever had to stop working on something due to what you discovered? I don't think so. I'm trying to think. There's always a way to fix anything. Now, and I don't think I've ever had something where it was so bad where somebody just said, "Oh, well, we can't fix it then," type of thing. We ain't got the money or whatever. I'm trying to think if that would be what would have happened if it was the case. But, you know, if that situation would have happened. Now, there might have been something in the course of my life where I got into it and I'm just like, nah, we're gonna have to call somebody who's a specific of this type of thing. But I can't even think of that off the top of my head. I'm sure maybe that's happened. He still says do it. I can't price it high enough to turn him away. Tile showers scare me, too slippery. I don't personally, I prefer a pan in the bottom than the tile anyways. Bean counters want all them bids. Yeah, and I'm fine with that if you're actually don't know who you're going to use and you want to, and again, and every now and then, probably if it's probably a good idea if you are the customer, like say somebody hires me all the time and they keep using me for like 10 years, it might be a good every now and then just to see and make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of by somebody, which surely if you've hired them for 10 years, you don't feel that way about them. But so 10 years might not be a good number to use. But if you've used the same person like 3 or 4 times and it's been a while, you might want to throw out there and just say, I'm going to get another bid just to make sure that, something nefarious isn't going on type of thing with whoever it is that you're hiring. I'm just saying that on the side of a homeowner or, customer. I personally feel like if you've hired, I use the same subs. Like I've been using the same plumber. I've been using the same, if I do hire an electrician, I've been using the same HVAC guy for probably 20 years and I still use them now, even in my own business. If it's something that I need to hire one of those guys for to do something for a specific job and we're doing like the framing and stuff and I need somebody else to be doing the electrical or doing whatever while we're doing other stuff, I still hire. I've hired the same people for like 20 years, and I don't even call somebody and say, you know, I get a price from them if it's for a customer, just so I can add it into mine or do whatever, so that I know this is what it's going to be. But I don't even get a price from anybody else because it's like that's who I work with. That's my plumber. That's my electrician. I'm not even going to go do a job that doesn't have them on it, and it's not just because it's mostly because I know what work they do. They know what work I expect. They know what work I do. I could call any of them right now today. I could call them up right now and be like, man, I've got an emergency at this place that's this, and they would come. But it's because they know that I hire them all the time, type of thing. They do the same thing with me. It's like, so once you have that relationship, I think it's crazy to not keep that. But I get why some people would say ever so often you need to, just get another bid or do whatever just to make sure that somebody's not way off or something like that. I have on fire alarm service calls. I have to stop and give them bad news. They need a whole new system. I got customers that just say fix it, knowing I'm not going to take them to the clinic. That's Tom. That's 90% of my work. Is hey, I've got a lady that just called me the other day and she's shipping a bunch of stuff to my house from Home Depot because it was faster or whatever. She said, "You care if I just ship all this stuff to your house?" But she's gotten to in the last, like, at first I was giving her prices for everything, and then now in the last little bit she just says, "Hey, I've got a bunch of doorknobs being shipped to your house. Whenever you get them, can you install them at whatever?" And didn't ask for a price, anything. And that's what most of my customers just say. They'll call me up and say, "Can you just get me on your list of, like, whenever you can get to me," type of thing. Because a lot of my work, I just treat it like it's a service call, and I just do time and material whenever I get there. If it's just a 1 day job thing, and I just do, like, my first hour is X amount, and then every hour after that's X amount. Nice when you have customers that say to go ahead and take care of it. Simple as pay the bill, and we appreciate you. I put the paint in, put plywood with the thin set, and did a few rows of tiling. Then my wife tiled the rest, and she did a great job. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of tiling anymore. It's just the whole process of it. And I definitely don't like doing bathrooms and showers just because it's usually a tight spot. Like, just a big pain. So many steps, so many days you got to go back and do more and do this and all the little steps you got to do. X equals question mark, question mark. What did I say? X, maybe X amount per hour. So usually, like, my service fee for me is it's $100 my first hour, and it depends on the customer, but for the most part, that's what it is. But that counts me getting there. It's an hour of me working, but that also helps pay for me getting to them. And even though my hour isn't including me getting to them, because usually it's not very far away, but that helps pay for the me getting there. And that way, if it's something that's just small, it's worth the trip of going, type of thing. And then I usually charge. It's usually 50 an hour after that. Most customers. Some it's different, but for most, and it sometimes it depends on what it is I'm doing. Like residential stuff, sometimes if it's something small, I don't charge. It's totally different for me, but that's the standard in which I use. But me being the owner and me being the only person, and I'm not sending out a tech or something or other that, hey, so if I go to some old lady's house and it takes me 5 minutes to reset something, 9 times out of 10, I don't even charge anything. So it's different for everybody. But that's what I tell people on the phone, just to give them an idea, which a lot of times I don't even tell them that. So let's say most of the time I've got like a price in my head for if somebody calls me and says, "I've got a ceiling fan that I'd like to have changed out." I just got a typical price for a ceiling fan, and that counts. I just know how long it would take me to do it, how long it's going to take me to drive to get there. Am I picking up the ceiling fan and bringing it, or do you have one there? That kind of makes a difference. So everything's a little bit different, but that's kind of my standard. I'm at 215, half hour minimum. 105 to show up and diagnose. Yeah, I'm glad that I don't work for. I'd have a hard time, like, because there's times where I'll go and it's just a matter of resetting a GFCI plug. And again, it depends on, is this a customer I do work for a lot, or is it just somebody that, and, I can tell that, they might not have a lot of extra money or whatever, or, this kind of things like that. So everything is different, but that's the benefit to me of working like I do by myself and for myself. I get to make those decisions like on the spot and just be like, it's no big deal. Just remember me the next time you've got something going on. I was already out this way. Don't worry about it, because it was something simple. Versus if you work for somebody and it's a big company, you know, they're just going to be like, well, we charge this for going out there, and that's what it is. And you're put in that position. And I get why big companies have to do that. I mean, they've got the overhead. They could have sent you to some place that you would have made money. They can't afford to just send you out for free. but I'm glad that I get to make the decision on the spot what I want to do in every situation. I charge less for shopping hours though. If you had to get a new work vehicle, would you stick with a truck or go van? I'm leaning towards my next one being a van, like one of those. I kind of like what Chris the handyman has, except for I just don't know if I want something. Now the way his is, it's small enough that you can get to everything basically by opening up the doors and you can reach in. That wouldn't be bad, I guess. I don't want to get a van that I can't walk up in though. Like if I get like something like that, because I don't want to be crawling. Like it's better off to have what I've got right now with my truck and my side doors and all that stuff in the deck drawers. I can reach everything in the bed of my truck from the outside. Versus, I wouldn't want a van where I can't get up into the stuff up in the front without crawling from the back or something like that. So if I got a van, I'd want it to be at least tall enough for me to walk in. Ted's got 3 access vans, cargo van, or like a box truck. I like my truck set up right now, which if I could get to where I mean, again, hopefully long term, I won't have to carry as much stuff in my truck as what I got right now. I kind of can do about anything out of my truck right now. I'm hoping long term to cut down the things I'm doing to be smaller stuff. But that's why I think I could probably get by with something like what Chris the handyman has, as long as I could. But it's the getting the materials right now for me that would be hard to go to something small. But again, if in the future I'm not buying as many like 12-foot 2x12s and 4x8 sheets of drywall and all that kind of stuff, then it's not a big deal to have something smaller. But right now I've got to be able to put long stuff on the top of my truck or hook up my cargo trailer and go pick up, 20 sheets of drywall or do whatever. 4%, which is about 8 o'clock. So I'll probably get off here at 8 o'clock anyways. A city van is ideal. Yeah, I just know that I wouldn't want a van where, now if the van's got like a side door, I guess, on the side to where you can get up in that front area. I wouldn't want a van where like the stuff in the same way I wouldn't want my truck that way either. Like I wouldn't want a truck. That's why I'm so glad that my side doors are open, because if they were like those box things, I'd be to get to the stuff I put in the back of my bed, I'd have to crawl up in there and like that'd be a nightmare. I wouldn't want to do that. So I wouldn't want a van where I got to do that either, where like I got to crawl up in to get to the stuff in the back. It would have to have access on the sides somehow, some way to get to everything else. But I'm at 3% and it's 8 o'clock. So I guess I'm going to get off here. It's pretty good. I think we got him a decent bag to start with anyways. And it's all stuff I can manage to live without, I think. I'll probably be looking for some of it later though. But I'm going to get off here. We'll see y'all Thursday, if not before then, on a video that you watch or something or other. But I don't have anything coming out in the next little bit. So, but we'll see y'all. Appreciate y'all being in here.